never mind, I got nothing, case closed.
No further questions, Your Honour.
I rest my case, Your Honour.
You solved my riddle 3 and now you are free to go. And the judge is like, what? No, that's my choice.
It's like, well, I'm not submitting any more evidence, so suck it, Judge.
Hello and welcome to Win Stupid Prizes, the show where we ask the questions that nobody thought were worth asking. I'm Eddie, and I'm joined today by 3 new additions to the alphabet, and they are Jamie.
Oh, you know, like W, but like do that for J, so like double J.
Bear.
I'm gonna submit a letter of complaint.
Nice. Oh, wait, no, not nice. And our judge this episode is Alex.
You know, like W is 2 V's. I'm W.
I was thinking about that.
I almost did that myself as well.
Oops, we all made the same joke.
What about triple U?
Oh, no. All right, Alex, what question have you got for us today?
Well, I've been looking into the budget and realised we've got some unspent cash in the animals fighting crime line of the budget. And obviously we got to spend it. So my question to you is, which animal will be the best at fighting crime?
Oh, wow, I didn't know we had a budget for that. I love it.
Could we spend that on audio equipment?
No, it's been earmarked.
Oh, our budget. I assume you meant the government budget.
What about the humans?
Yeah, the first answer is humans, obviously.
No, that's not allowed.
Cut that. We've tried humans, it hasn't worked.
They're still crime.
What about a sphinx, right? Sphinx is really good at asking questions.
Sure.
Really good at catching people in a lie.
Starting strong with the mythological animal.
Well, of course, that's what we do. I brought Link to the first episode of this show. He's not real.
Yeah, but that made sense.
We did have fictional in the question that time.
Was there fiction in the question? Crap.
I'll allow it.
Anyway, yeah, sphinxes. I thought they'd be good at being detectives. The problem with them being detectives is they ask a bunch of questions of people. No one can answer them, so the sphinx thinks everyone's guilty.
What runs in the morning, walks in the evening,
And did a crime. You.
The questions are nothing to do with the crime at all. It's literally just answer my riddle or go to jail. And they're like, wow, this sphinx has a really high arrest rate. Great.
Where were you on the night of goes away more the more you take away, or whatever? Just lock me up, bro. Just lock me up.
So I decided actually that maybe sphinxes would be good as lawyers. Because when they're being the prosecution, these questions can catch people in a lie and lead them to actually incriminating themselves once they get caught up in it in the courtroom.
Okay.
As long as the judge is also a sphinx, so understands the riddle.
Nah, it's fine.
No, I think we were saying we shouldn't let the judge be a sphinx because of the aforementioned thinking everyone is guilty, which is probably not a good thing for a judge.
I don't know, I could get a lot of crimes solved that way.
I think the downside of the sphinx as a lawyer is it's not a great look if the prosecution is like, here's my riddle, and then you're up against someone clever, so they answer the riddle, and it's like, never mind, I got nothing, case closed.
No further questions, Your Honour.
I rest my case, Your Honour.
You solved my riddle 3 and now you are free to go. And the judge is like, what? No, that's my choice.
It's like, well, I'm not submitting any more evidence, so suck it, Judge.
Alright, I guess they are free to go then.
I was like, if you just have any judge, they're just like, you've brought no evidence, you've compiled no case. It's like, but they haven't answered my riddles. Good point.
That's what the rest of the team around the Sphinx has to bring to the court case. Like the Sphinx's understudy or whatever.
The Sphinx's understudy cannot be a Sphinx.
I like that you've just added a new role to the defense team, which is the person who just objects to everything the Sphinx says. Objection, relevance, sustained.
It's like my one piece of evidence is like what runs but has no legs. Off your pop. Submit to the court.
That was easy. I've heard that one before. Am I free to go?
Yeah, you do have to come up with new riddles.
Or if the riddle has too many hints in it, objection, leading the witness.
Oh yeah, you put them on the stand, and then because you can cross-examine people, that's when the other lawyer comes in and gives them some hints, and you're like, oh, objection, this is against the rules of my riddles.
Well, yeah, the defense lawyers just have a big book of riddles, and they're like, "No, we've had that one before. You're running out. You've done a lot of these cases recently, haven't you? You're reusing material."
Like, is the Sphinx just actually just bad at riddles and it wants the answers, but it's just not satisfied with the ones it gets?
That doesn't sound right,
It's
dude.
someone it's confused.
Time? No, that doesn't feel right.
Rivers? Yeah, it's always time.
It's always time or nothing. Like the two answers. I also think in criminal court you have to submit your evidence ahead of time. You can't like bring surprise evidence into the court, which suggests they have to submit their riddles ahead of time.
The riddles aren't evidence, right? The riddles are questions in the room that they ask of the...
Yeah, it's cross-examination, not evidence.
Oh, okay. We did briefly suggest that was the only evidence they were submitting, which amuses me, the idea they have to submit the riddles ahead of time, and so the lawyer and the suspect or whatever are allowed to just look over the riddles and be like, man, this one's a real stumper. We've got to spend all night looking at this riddle.
I guess they just ignore the case. That's the thing. The Sphinx becomes a distraction. So they're not thinking about they're not working on their case because they're too busy trying to make sure they got the riddles right.
Sphinx turns up, asks one riddle, and then just turns into a normal lawyer. Just starts doing normal lawyer stuff, and they're just completely baffled. They were expecting riddles.
The Sphinx is a perfect addition to a team of lawyers, right? Like, because big corporations have a team of lawyers, and if the Sphinx is on your team, the opponent's team of lawyers just like, opponents, is that right in crime? I don't care.
Enemy lawyers is a bit better.
Giant enemy lawyer.
It's a bit like say the quiet bit out loud, yeah.
The Sphinx would be a giant enemy lawyer. How big is your Sphinx, Jamie? How big is a Sphinx on average?
Oh, that's a good question.
House cat sized, lion sized, Sphinx
I was
sized?
going lion-sized. Well, the big statues of sphinxes are big statues of sphinxes, right?
They might be, or it might be a Sphinx that got turned to stone.
In my head, it's more a lion-sized because it is the body of lion, right? So it's about lion-sized, fits into the courtroom fine. It's not a giant sphinx you see in fantasy where it's the size of like a dragon or whatever the hell.
But it's not like a house cat sized.
That'd be more fun.
It would be easier for it to fly.
You just you just carry it in a basket.
A little kitty cat who also asks you leading questions. When have you fed me?
When have you fed me? Why am I hungry and yet my bowl is full? Explain this to me.
Or it only does it in riddle, so it's just like it won't cooperate with you until you fed it, and it's just like something that's been forgotten.
I require wet food and yet dry food is in my bowl.
Why?
Riddle me that.
Riddle me this, Batman.
I was trying to skirt that one. There is a riddle specifically known as the riddle of the Sphinx, which also suggests that it only ever brings one riddle to the court. It's the same riddle.
I assume that's just one from like a famous story in mythology.
It is, but it is amusing.
Yeah.
You can't get the
That's the
same
one
lawyer
riddle.
a second time, and it's like, oh, I already know this one. This happened last time.
The one in the story is that really shit riddle about who grows legs all day.
Yeah. No, who loses? No, yeah, who
grows
changes
legs
the
all
numbers?
day?
It's the 4-2-3 leg riddle.
Yeah, it's just it's a shit riddle. I hate it.
Yeah, but like all riddles are kind of rubbish when you get down to them. They're deliberately trying to make you think elsewise.
I've come across some good ones that aren't just lying, like that one is.
I mean, no, that's just conflating time differently.
It is lying. Their arms, it's a walking stick.
Yeah.
No, it's lying, I understand now. Yeah, all right.
Well, this was fun. There we go. Sphinx.
Speaking of how many legs you've got at a certain time of day,
Oh, good.
I actually know the answer to the Sphinx's riddle because it's always 8. Because I'm introducing Coptopus.
Coptopus.
Coptopus, not coctopus.
Coptopus.
Okay.
Not coctopus.
Yeah.
I was worried.
I wouldn't say Octocop because that would just be like 8 cops.
You're right.
Which actually, now that I say that, 2 legs, 8 torsos.
But now this is a cop number of feet.
It's a fair cop.
Oh.
How many brains does an octopus have?
As many as it wants.
So that's kind of 8 cops.
It's like 9, I think. I think that, I don't, they have their own, like, yeah, each tentacle has its own system to do some autonomous stuff.
Oh my god, it can solve 8 crimes at once.
It's like 2 of them are solving crimes, 2 of them are
Yeah.
committing crimes, 4 of them are doing, like, their day job.
Yeah, but they all have to do it really close because the tentacles don't have eyes, so they have to feel. It's like, oops, I accidentally reached aside and felt you pickpocketing someone, I'm putting you under arrest. And then just 2 tentacles just wrestling.
Putting itself under arrest.
Yeah, handcuffing itself to itself.
Now, the octopus would be more useful in a sort of stealthy role, maybe. You know, you're actually going in, slipping into buildings, doing things that cops sort of aren't allowed to do, but they just do anyway. Because once they've done it, it's like, who's gonna stop them?
Who's gonna stop me?
What?
Like, you know, if a police...
The crime cop.
If a real police could just go through your keyhole to look around your house when they thought you might have done a crime, they'd absolutely do that.
Yeah, that's why we have laws.
Laws don't apply to the police.
That would get the evidence thrown out of court.
Yeah.
But what you don't use it to pick up the evidence, you use it to find the evidence, and then you go get the warrant once you know it's there.
Right, you beeline exactly for, like, the little secret cubby hole. And like, how did you know that was there? And like, a cop never tells.
Doesn't matter.
An octopus never tells.
I mean, but to get the warrant, you need
Yeah, you need a pretense.
a reason for a warrant.
You do, yeah.
The pretense being we already sent someone in is...
Or, you know, we saw it through a window.
We have strong reason to suspect you of random crime.
I do realise that getting a warrant, like, they can come up with other reasons.
Watching TV without a license, those kind of things.
Yeah, I think it's probably not that hard to lie. We don't need to go into all of the reasons cops do crimes. It doesn't matter why the cops are corrupt. What matters is that the octopus is good at it.
So the octopus is good at being a corrupt cop. That's your...
And a good... yeah, but like, here's the question, right? Because depending on its morals, the corruption can be ethically good.
Hang on. A little bit of corruption can be ethically good. Is not the definition of corruption.
Batman is corrupt in terms of the law, except when he gets signed off, right? You know, notice how all the stories are about cops who go off book because they know they're right. We celebrate them as heroes.
That's because they're stories.
That's the stories helping justify cops that go off the book to make it more acceptable socially when it happens. But that's us in an ethics debate again.
Okay, let's move away from that then, rather than an octopus being corrupt. Imagine an octopus wearing a noir hat and smoking 8 cigars.
I'm in.
Okay, yeah.
Is that your entire submission?
It wins.
Think of how many magnifying glasses it could hold.
That is a good point. You could really look at the evidence.
Hostage negotiation, sneaking in and picking handcuffs because they're pretty stealthy.
Okay.
You know, getting all the hostages out, maybe dropping on a ceiling onto the hostage taker's head.
I feel like if you've picked an octopus, you should really hone in on the fact that it's got 8 limbs as the big advantage here, rather than it's a sneaky bitch. Because it's so much sneakier animals.
It's almost like we have a separate thing later for sneaky things.
Okay, let's join the bomb squad. Or actually, wait, dispatch. Octopus on dispatch.
Okay, Bomb Squad I'm so in for.
Bomb squad, yeah.
I'm in for bomb squad.
You're like, is it defusing 8 bombs at once?
Although dispatches are quite a funny thing of an octopus holding 8 phones and trying to coordinate like that.
8 phones and 1 mouse.
These both came up in the Spider-Man episode, didn't they?
As we know from Octodad, the blue is fully understood as normal human speech.
Yeah, that's just English. What you said made perfect sense.
Yeah.
Maybe the octopus isn't on the phones, but it can be pressing buttons.
True. I mean, you know how phone connector, what were they called back in the day?
Yeah, phone operator.
Yeah.
That sort of thing it would be great at, switchboards and stuff. It'd be great at. And
Yeah.
a bunch of computer screens, a bunch of computers. It'd be great at that.
Yeah.
In fact, don't they do that in Monsters Inc. or something? Have a monster with a bunch of arms coordinating stuff. There's definitely a movie where that happens with
Probably.
an
Yeah.
octopus or monster.
I can see it in my mind's eye, yeah.
Also, they're good at solving puzzles, so if you make a little, model of the city, you give it, a little shrimp reward every time it drags the cop cars through the traffic, and then the cops follow the path it's found for them.
Okay, right. Yeah, you're right. They are good at that sort of thing. Can we go back to Bomb Squad, though?
Yeah, let's go back to
Bomb Squad, okay.
Yeah, I just really like the image, the bad guys who have got last time you defeated our 3 bombs. This time we brought 8 bombs, and they're all wired together.
Specifically 8 bombs.
Cross-wired. They all have to be solved at once.
And we put them in a small space that only something the size of a toddler could fit in, but they are all within a meter of each other.
And they're like, last time we used an octopus to solve your 3 bomb thing. And they're like, oh yeah.
So what you're saying is I need a 9th bomb.
And for that, we get the octopus to carry a rat.
Deploy the bomb-topus.
But I mean, even just dealing with one bomb, it's always in the movies, they're cutting one wire at once, right? You need to be dual-wielding the cutters to actually, you can do different things with a circuit if you can cut 2 wires at once.
I don't know which colour it is, but if I cut all of them, the bomb will just stop, so that's fine.
Hopefully.
I hate to nerf the octopus, but normally we Actually, do you hold you hold wire cutters in one hand? You don't need two hands for that. I'm going to unnerf the octopus.
Like, you could hold them in two if it garden shears.
Garden shears. We'll just chop through all the wires with the show.
Sometimes a single tentacle can kind of do 2 hands worth of stuff, and sometimes it's only one, depending on the shape you need.
If all that fails, it can just sucker onto all 8 bombs at once and yeet itself into the ocean and dispose of the bombs safely.
Sacrificial.
Or, actually, since we're adding wings to normal real creatures, it can just fly off into the sky like a sphinx.
When did we add wings to When did that happen? I missed
With a
Yes,
sphinx.
the classic mythology creature. I can't come up with a funny name for it. An octopus with wings and the head of a person.
Octowing.
And the legs of a lizard.
Pegapus.
I'm just assuming that because we brought a sphinx, we're just allowed to add human faces and wings to every animal we bring.
Right, okay, I'm gonna, much like in the first animal episode we did where I was like, I'm not gonna let you add human hands to every animal. I'm not gonna let you add wings and a human face to every animal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, so Jamie can do it.
Jamie has a
The
pre-established.
Jamie brought a sphinx, that's like the sphinx's whole thing.
The Greeks added them. I just used it. Or the Egyptians. I'm actually not sure the origins, but we're not going to do that deep dive.
Oh, speaking of deep dive,
Hey.
there are plenty of underwater operations that cops have a hard time at. You really need to get, like, a diving specialist.
Yeah.
When, like, the bad guys put 8 bombs around the base of your oil rig, who do you need?
You get a shark to take a bite out of crime.
Any time in Thunderbirds where they needed Thunderbird 4, they could have just used an octopus. So just think of any of those things.
Exactly. It would have been so much easier.
They could have used an octopus to pilot Thunderbird 4.
Oh my god, why?
Just one last thing on going incognito. We know from Octodad once again that octopuses are really good at infiltrating families.
Again, I feel you're leaning too much on Octodad as a canonical source here, but we'll find out.
That's what octopuses were based on!
Yeah, we're just going to hire Octodad. That means we can't add octopuses to every unit, just one, because there's one of him.
One last thing I've just realised. You get one of those octopus that changes its colours and then you don't need to buy it a siren. Except for the noise bit.
It clinks to the top of the car.
You just give it an air horn and it can flash its own lights.
Apart from the noise
No,
bit.
they don't flash lights, they change colour. The light projects light.
Yeah, you get a little air horn and it just can flash its own lights.
You get a white light and you get the octopus to sit on it, and because it's translucent, it changes the colour of the light by the light glowing through it.
I don't know what you're on about now. Next question, please.
Can they change to any colour they want? Anyway, yeah, well, okay, alright. So far, you've brought the perfect duo of confusing cop and corrupt cop.
Yeah.
So I'd like to add to the mix combat cop, because I want to focus on fighting in the word fighting crime.
That's a good move.
And the best animal that I could think of at fighting crime, literally, would be a kangaroo.
Okay, yeah.
They got the punch, they got the kick, they're aggressive as hell, they're roughly the size of humans, so you know they can...
They can definitely hold their own.
Kangaroos have been in boxing rings with humans, and it was a bad move for the human.
Yeah.
Eddie, I'm sorry. Like, I hate to do this to you.
Don't do it then.
But surely the best fighting animal is a dragon.
Right, well, I was thinking about real animals. I didn't consider fictional animals for a lot of this.
There are real dragons. They just don't breathe fire.
Oh yeah, Komodo
like
dragons.
Komodos,
Good point.
Billionaires. Lol, that joke.
Lol. Dragons are also, like, huge in mythological lore, and therefore you want an animal that can actually fight the crime in a human scale, go into buildings and fight criminals where they often hang out inside buildings, rather than need to just, like, eat a city block in order to
Yeah, so
get to the criminals.
we will continue on the kangaroo, but you did make a funny image in my head of who needs to go inside the building when you can just burn it down.
Yeah, but like we don't want to just. We're not a authoritarian state here. We're not trying to kill all the criminals.
Right? Yes.
We're still on the reform thing.
You're 100% correct. We should. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we've got the corrupt lawyer, we've got the corrupt cop, and then we've got, like, the corrupt cop with ties to the mob. Because have you seen a kangaroo just, like, try and drown something?
I have not.
If they're just, like, in waist-deep water, a kangaroo will just grab something and just try and hold it underwater.
Oh wow.
Animals are vicious sometimes.
They do be. But yeah, look, kangaroos are willing to fight dirty, and crime is dirty, so I think that's a fair thing in fighting crime, is to play dirty.
I'm just imagining, because some kangaroos, the smaller ones, often very sweet-looking, you get these really, like, ripped, jacked-looking kangaroo dudes.
Oh yeah, that's the one I want.
Yeah, you got one who's just out, and he's like, he doesn't care whether you've done a crime or not, he's just looking for a fight. Like, he's just
Yeah.
trying to make it happen. He's just going around the places. He's got no arrest record. He's just beating the shit out of people on the street.
You're out of order, kangaroo cop.
Well, okay, so we put him in an armoured truck, back up the armoured truck to, like, the front of the mafia warehouse or whatever, open the doors, kangaroo hops in and starts taking down everyone in the warehouse.
I am scared that we have crossed the line into the problematic part of the episode where we're talking about police brutality.
It's fine. The kangaroo will probably just, like, become the crime boss. You know, at the end of the scene, you see it putting a suit on and standing on a pile of other things and they're kissing its ring.
Just takes over the crime scene.
Yeah.
Default conclusion, all of these are corrupt.
No.
There we go.
No,
We've solved it.
But like maybe it makes sense as more like a SWAT squad sort of thing, in which case you kind of like need to take down the criminals. Like, you're right, we don't want the kangaroo in a space where peace is an option.
So you're just the military.
Then again, a lot of the situations where peace is an option should maybe be under different authorities, departments.
We're not getting into it.
So, yeah.
We're not solving real police, Jamie.
We're not solving real police, you're
We're
right.
adding animals to
Yeah,
real
we're adding
police.
animals to real police.
You asked
Sorry.
me to fight crime, and so I picked an animal that would win a fight with crime.
I can't argue with that.
We're in a fight with crime.
Somebody stop me. Can you come up with a better animal for fighting crime?
Yes, hopefully.
I already
Just
did.
an alligator.
Are you saying that's your answer, Doug?
I-
You said, can you come up with a better animal for fighting crime? So,
Crime crocodile versus kangaroo. That kangaroo has lost his job.
What, crocodile? Crocodile's just gonna eat things, though. That's
The crime crocodile. No, a criminal crocodile.
a criminal crocodile.
Kangaroo tries to fight the criminal crocodile. That's bad news for the kangaroo.
Oh, yeah, we didn't consider animals being added to crime.
Crimodile. Crocomal.
There's a Pokemon that's that. It's Crocodile.
Yeah, I guess if kangaroo tries to drown it, it's having a bad time. But if they're on land, I think the kangaroo's fine, because all it needs to do is like stomp on its face, and therefore it can't open its mouth, and we're good.
I don't know if the kangaroo's that tactical. Kangaroo's trying to punch and kick.
It got big jump.
That's why we give them basic training.
This is just the series. It is the kangaroo cop who loves to beat the shit out of anyone he sees, and his arch nemesis, Mafia Crocodile.
Yeah, all right, okay. We found an even match, is what you're saying.
We found a good plot for a story.
And is that not the dream of all criminals?
down on his luck, boxing kangaroo with mafia ties. Like, there's a lot to this story.
Boxing kangaroo is really funny, because it could be like, all right, you've lost the trial, but double or nothing, you can box a kangaroo.
Yeah, kangaroo wouldn't throw the fight for the money.
Kangaroo's got like a 99% win record, but most criminals probably think they could beat a kangaroo in a boxing match.
It's like thinking you can beat William's sister in a tennis match. People are just overconfident like that.
I don't think I could return a serve. I'd be impressed if I could get to the point where I get in a match against them. Never mind.
It's that, like, you know, like, I sprained my ankle on the way to the court. Not even getting that far.
Wait a minute, Skippy, the old TV series. He literally did
yeah.
solve crime.
Did. Okay, so we have some evidence.
And he's less brutal. This is good.
Yeah, I want a more aggressive version of Skippy.
Does Skippy just like hop around and show people where the crime is?
Something like that. I don't remember. It's older than me, that show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's older than all of us, yeah.
It is from the 70s. He is also a relatively small kangaroo and therefore misses out on the fighting side of it. So like I want the intelligence of Skippy with the brutality of a big hench kangaroo. And if that isn't the perfect animal for fighting crime, do better.
Sure. Okay, right.
If that isn't the perfect animal for fighting crime, shit again.
Bloody hell, almost July already. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying what you're hearing and you think you would also like something with a little less structure, the backdrop of a video gamer activity, and a live chat, come check out our live streams. We stream regularly on our Twitch channel Hexagorgon Live, or you can skip the Twitch UI by going to hexagorgon.stream instead, which will take you straight to our Twitch channel. Actually, let me just make sure that still works. Yep, it does. Great work, Alex. So that's twitch.tv/Hexagorgon Live or hexagorgon.stream to see our beautiful faces do things in real time, including respond to your chat messages. Hope to see you there.
I might not do better. I probably will do better. We'll see.
No, you won't. You can't.
So, I think one way that you can collect evidence, catch criminals in the crimes and stuff is by bugging them.
Yeah.
Oh, I do that to you all the time.
So we bug them. We bug the criminals with an actual bug.
Oh.
smart.
They're small. They can get into spaces. They can listen to things. They can be carrying the recording device, so it's not on the undercover cop.
There's a bug on the bug.
That's a good question. Can they listen to things? No, let's not get into a talk about the
Let's
biological
not.
hearing. of insects.
No, because we had the octopus talking successfully, right?
Carry on.
So, yeah, they can bug things. The phrase, a fly on the wall, as someone who gets to witness/listen to things that they are not normally privy to, is a word.
Yeah.
We actually have a fly on the wall. We send in to wherever it's not, I'm not talking like street crime, but like wherever, like sort of maybe organized crime or like sort of, yeah, not someone stealing someone's handbag, but like a deal going down somewhere or mafia stuff. You send the fly in, you can get them listening, you can get them collecting like actual information. They can't probably carry evidence, but they can record stuff with one little recording device.
Much like alluded to by the octopus earlier, they can find out where the evidence is.
Yeah.
And therefore, when you get the warrant, you beeline for it. Hey, beeline, nice.
Or where the thing is happening, so you can send people in to catch them in the act as well.
True.
Also, your cop fly does have a nemesis as well. It's Crimer Chameleon.
I was thinking a chameleon might just be a better option here, because the problem with bugs is that there's lots of traps for bugs. You get like fly paper and fly swatters and things.
I've got an electrified murder tennis racket for them.
Yeah, I know you do. Exactly.
Yeah, but you don't spot it. It's clever.
A clever fly. Interesting. Okay.
If it's trying not to annoy me, I probably wouldn't care about it, but that's not what flies typically do.
Yeah, but like the fact that there is things that can stop flies.
They do like to bug you.
And octopuses don't normally fix bombs, but it's fine because they're on the force. They're doing the job.
But Jamie, are you trying to say that you've trained the fly not to bug people?
No, not to annoy people. I've trained them to listen in and be sneaky.
Yeah, bug.
I feel like that breaks like every answer except the sapient one in Sphinx.
No, it's because the word bug that you brought in also means to annoy, Jamie. I'm playing on words.
I know.
Quick, Jamie, pivot to chameleon. No one's ready for the chameleon. They are fully invisible. We don't have chameleon traps.
They're definitely fully invisible, yeah.
Yes. Have you ever seen one?
And they have a tongue that can grab a little bit of evidence and keep it with them in their mouth.
And carry it. Yeah, they are better at actually getting evidence out of the situation than the fly is. My brain was like, what about... My brain was trying to think of earwigs, but it actually came up with the word earworm.
Oh, I see.
Right, because like sound and listening into things you're not meant to hear is like the ear.
I'm pretty sure the American police or government or whatever do use pop music as a torture method.
Oh, right.
So there you go. There's your earworm.
Please, I'll tell you anything. Just don't play any more Katy Perry.
If the fly's in the room, the way that the criminals, in a moment of silence, they just hear that a little like... The fly's just up there like humming a tune to itself.
Oh no.
And the criminal's like, we're being bugged.
The fuzz is here.
The buzz is here.
Oh, that's much better. That's much better. Oh, I do also like chameleon. There are a decent number of animals that could do this kind of thing. Bear brought it up with the octopus, like with the undercover stuff. There's a decent amount of that an animal can pull off. Like there are so many small unknown animals around us that we don't know about, right? Like it's all the thing about you're always X amount of distance away from a rat. Like
That's actually just statistical error.
also a rat in the organisation.
You've said the thing I wanted to say. A rat.
It's a rat.
All right, everybody's here. We got Fat Tony, Slim Jimmy, a rat.
We can get someone to rat them out. We can get a mole in the organisation and a rat in the organisation. We can take down the whole of the mafia.
We got a rat and we got a mole.
A rat wearing a wire is a really funny image.
Like, we should search everyone for a wire, not the rat.
I like also the idea of one rat in a full-size trench coat trying to join the mafia.
A single rat.
Just sitting in a bundle of clothes at the table with all the other guys.
A little snoot poking out.
And they're like, I think we got a snitch. And he's just like, oh no.
We had a crocodile being the head of an organised crime family in an earlier point. We're normalising animals being part of all these things.
I'm not saying there's a problem here. I'm saying it's just a great image for having basically a self-moving coat with a rat in the collar of it. Just normal rat being suspended up there. And for the crime family to have no idea.
All right, we've got a rat in our organisation. We've narrowed it down to tight lids, Johnny, and this rat in a trench coat.
The mafia boss is like, I know one of you's a rat. Is it you, Jimmy? And then Jimmy's trench coat opens. A huge pile of like 40 rats falls out of it and all skitter to hide.
Well, was wrong. He wasn't one rat.
He was many.
Alternatively, you're just getting the inside thought of the rat. It's like, they can't be onto me because I'm 50 rats.
Yeah, one of you's a rat. It ain't ratty because he's 50 rats. It must be one of you's.
It could be one of you. It's just like the whole rat thing. They throw one rat out. They just throw anyone out. They're like, it was him, and the crime family is satisfied. And then you've got 49 rats still inside.
Oh, you can only ever have one rat in an organisation.
Yeah, at a time.
Wait, isn't mole also a term for this as well?
Yes. That's,
it was mentioned.
Yeah, you have a mole in the organisation. It's perfect.
One of you's a snitch. It's either the rat, the mole, or Johnny Tight-Lips.
I didn't tell him nothing.
But only one of you's.
Oh, yeah. I think a bunch of undercover animals are quite good in this situation. Again, not the best for fighting street-level crime, but quite good at doing organised crime, like back-alley deals.
Quite good at doing organised crime, eh?
Yeah, that too, actually.
You've got a real option in like a dragonfly or a butterfly, because they have the benefits you have, but they're not
See,
as
I don't
like...
think dragonflies or butterflies are strong enough to hold the recording devices
I mean, compared to what? A housefly?
compared to a rat.
Yeah, but in my image, it's in my head. It's a little fly wearing like a little detective's hat with a tiny little listening device pinned to its lapel.
I'm pretty sure we can attach listening devices to flies, so I don't think that's the problem.
Probably. But it is also funny to get a like, regular lapel mic, which is as big as the fly.
Yeah, or just like a fly lugging a dictaphone through the air, like.
Like we've got the fly in the agency, in the detective agency. We're gonna get them on the job. We'll get equipment sorted in a few months, but we need to get you down on the crime immediately. Here, take a normal human lapel mic.
Take this answering phone.
We'll get R&D on miniaturizing it.
You've got the cockroach as well, right? Like it can fly.
Oh.
It's not as elegant at flying, but it's very good at sneaking, and it'll survive, you know? They're like, we're going to encase you in concrete and throw you in the river. 3 weeks later, the cops finally pick you up because of your GPS signal, take you out, and you're like, thanks, guys.
In case you're going to check your river. Oh, great, a free ride home.
Cockroaches do suffer from the same, maybe more severe version of the fly thing. A lot of people don't like flies and get rid of them, but if they're not annoying them, they don't. If people see a cockroach, they want to stomp on that thing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but cockroaches usually don't get seen, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
You need to have more than a few cockroaches for someone to go out of their way to try and get them all.
Sure. And I think what this means is the mafia is going to start organising all their stuff in food service industries, because like they already have the trap set up, so that might be a problem there.
You say that, but you forget that the mafia wants to do crime, so if they're going into food service industry, they're trying to get more bugs into the restaurants.
Or
Wait.
to break hygiene laws.
Yeah, because it's illegal.
I'm a criminal, I can't help but do crimes when I have the opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. I think every criminal wants to commit as many crimes as possible.
They want to do the crime for the environment they're in, so if they're in a food hygiene environment, they want to commit food hygiene crimes.
And not just do money laundering with the restaurant they're in.
Why not both?
A funny thing we run into here as well is there's so many good options for animals here as a mole in an organization.
Yeah.
But what if the entire organization is just various animals that are all trying to go
Whole
undercover?
menagerie.
It's just all undercover cops.
There are stories of like police things where like 3 of them go for like a drug bust and all of them are undercover cops just for different departments. And so we have this exact same problem here, but with a full mafia organization.
We've accidentally created a crime organization.
Yeah, we got the croc at the top. We got all the various undercover bugs and rats and things.
Or like, there was one real criminal at the beginning, but he was onto them all and was just like, I'm backing out, you guys are in charge now. Like 4 different crime divisions putting tons of resources, thinking they're doing a really good job.
And they're actually just running the local like drug cartel.
Yeah.
And then you get back to the doing crime to perpetuate crime, to catch the crime so that you can fund yourself.
Yeah, Spider-Man gambit.
Well, then you get to the point where they realize, because they keep being like, well, we're not arresting these people because actually the intel and the larger bust is going to be the payoff.
Yeah.
And then when they get to it, they realize it's all them and they're like, we have to cover this up.
Absolutely. And we have to just keep doing the crime now just to make it seem like it was legit the whole time.
Just we're making so much money doing the crime as well.
Yeah, we're funding our department.
Oh no, we're back on real world corruption. Yeah.
And then they get defeated by the old lady who swallowed a fly.
She swallowed the whole organization eventually. Yeah.
Or maybe they don't, because she swallows the fly, and that means no one realizes the fly's there, and she's just walking into the crime
Oh,
places.
jeez, we're going going too far. This is going too far. We gotta move on.
Speaking of wandering into the crime places, of all the animals so far that I think aren't corrupt seeming,
Which ones?
just at a glance, right? That you'd look at them and you'd think, oh, that's not going to turn bad. I think a giraffe is a really good option here. Now, it's not got any massive specialty. It has a massive specialty. It's its neck.
It's tall.
Yeah. How does that help it fight crime?
So this is just a regular beat cop, right? It's a huge presence.
Oh.
One of the things we've learned when, like, a police presence in the community reduces crime if they're not there specifically to fight crime and make arrests.
Oh, simply the awareness that there are police around reduces crime rates.
So they're just a giant beacon.
I mean, there's a study in the States where, like, you know, they started sending cops into a really, really dangerous area without guns and just having them be engaged in the community. And over time, you know, it reduced crime and made people safer.
Oh, nice. And you're going to do that with giraffes?
Yeah, and that's basically what a giraffe does.
It's just tall. Everyone can see it at all times. Everyone knows it's there.
Great observation, though, as a result.
If you think about, people still use mounted cops, right? There's still police on horses in places.
Yep.
And part of that is just because of the presence. I mean, it can also help them move fast, but I think there's a sort of recognition and like imposition that's not inherently threatening of having someone on a horse.
Okay.
I find them very threatening.
Having someone on a horse is a little bit threatening.
A little bit, but it's not like they're here to fight you.
No, that's what the kangaroo is for.
That's not what the kangaroo and the horse is for.
That's the leashed and muzzled kangaroo in a cage that they've got.
If you see a cop in a kangaroo's pouch, then you gotta be worried. Oh my god, kangaroo can arrest me by putting them in their pouch. Why didn't I think of that earlier? Move on, move on.
This is a kangaroo court right here.
Yes.
That's what the Sphinx is.
But think about, like, the kangaroo's role in the community,
The
right?
giraffe's roll. Look, you said kangaroo.
Sorry,
Yeah,
giraffe.
you said
Think about the
kangaroos.
giraffe's role in a community, not a kangaroo. Kangaroo's gonna beat the shit out of you.
Easy win, baby.
You ask a kangaroo to rescue your cat, it strangles and drowns it.
Okay, we're back on kangaroo, yeah.
Yeah, you seem to be just trying to ruin the kangaroo a bit more.
Back to giraffes.
Yeah, so the giraffe in the community, right? Like, you don't have to call the fire brigade to get your cat out of a tree. It just walks up and the cat comes down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They are massive, but they're also quite chill, especially if they're used to people.
Mostly,
You've
yeah.
got some people trying to escape from a burning building. Whee! Giraffe neck slide.
Nice. Oh, that's actually not bad.
Then cover the fire brigade.
It would be helpful to the fire brigade, but you also want to get... The police often answer to fire brigade.
As a byproduct also, you get more green spaces in these communities because you have to build the trees for the giraffes to have a little snack.
Nah, they have to go to the canteen like everyone else.
The other nice thing about having lots of trees everywhere is it means that when they're stopping just to take a break, they're less obvious. Not so much for the times we want them to be obvious, but if they're just like walking by like a third-story apartment or like over a wall next to a junkyard and there's people doing crimes there, they just happen to overhear situations that they need to help with.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, the accidental range of a giraffe.
The mental image of there being a deal happening in an alleyway, and like I don't know, this is in a camera shot because it's on a show in my head, and they're doing the deal, and then like this giraffe head just rises up behind the fence behind them, like hello, what's going on here, and just
Leans around the corner of a building.
oh yeah, just like sideways.
Just comes out from like this very tall alley with like a big chain link fence, loads of things up in the giraffe head, just oi oi.
Chain link fence so they couldn't see.
Oi oi, Saveloy, thinking of getting into trouble, are we?
Doesn't even have to appear. It could just be like crouched over as well, so that as it like raises up to full height, the head just like
It hinges up.
hinges upwards like a seesaw almost.
The giraffe's a really good community officer, because the other thing is like, what's a giraffe gonna do to you?
What's a giraffe?
Kick you. They've got like horse legs.
Splat you with its neck.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's a lot of space they need to do that. A giraffe isn't going to come at you like swinging unless you're going to fight it, right? So as long as you're not trying to fight the giraffe, it's probably just going to be a presence of order.
Okay.
Just don't stand behind it.
If you're going to fight this giraffe, it's bad news for you.
I reckon I got a 50-50
But
shot.
seems less likely to get into this fight situation than, like, a kangaroo that wants to punch the shit out of you.
Whoa.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to fight a giraffe, and I could imagine a giraffe just picking me up like a cat picking up a kitten.
Like just putting you into a cage.
Picking you up with what?
With its mouth.
With its mouth.
With its how?
Yeah,
Hang
just
on.
whoop.
I don't have a good gauge for how big a giraffe's mouth is.
Not that big.
A giraffe's head is the size of Paul, basically.
Its head is the size of Paul.
Pretty much. I mean, like, a giraffe's head, I fed them, and their head is like the size of my torso.
Yeah, okay, that kind of tracks. So its mouth could probably just about get your head in it.
It's like, imagine a horse, but 1.5 times as big on the head.
I just like the fact that you're like, the size of Paul is the correct way of describing a size of something.
We all know Paul.
Yeah, I know how tall a Paul
Yeah,
is.
you know, everyone listening to this knows how tall Paul is.
Oh, wait, yeah, listeners, crap.
The size of a giraffe head or the size of my torso, yeah.
Describe it in relation to us. That'll be really helpful.
Yeah.
Because this is, we all have rulers next to us.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine a big guy, it's the size of his torso. Imagine a small guy, it's the size of him.
Okay, a small person or like half a big person.
The bigger half of a big person now.
Sure, okay, fair enough.
Would Dross be good at anything else? I kind of want to see one in a detective hat. I know we're doing them as a beat cop, but I just keep seeing these animals wearing little detective hats, and it's adorable.
They'd be good radio operators because they've already got the antennae built in.
Oh, yeah.
I like the image of seeing one in a car just have its head through the sunroof, just sticking out, just riding along. Even though the rest of its body's also very big, but that's not important right now. The head through the sunroof.
So wait, you've got the car, you've got the head coming out, you've got the siren behind the head.
On the head. No, it's like a wearable siren.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
a siren.
absolutely.
Oh, because the siren's lower than the head. Okay, it's on the head. Gee.
Oh, you could put one on the neck, or you could put it. Maybe they're both.
It's wearing the siren light as a bow tie.
I think wearing it as a hat is pretty funny. Just do that, even when it's just walking around casually, you know, on the beat, as you said.
It sees a crime, it just, you know.
Oh wait, you know how a siren has the one side red, one side blue, so you actually just put a light on each of the ossicones.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
They just have them rotate or whatever.
And going back to my animals being able to light up inherently, you don't need to add a siren at all, because you just have it flash its horns and say boo.
What?
I'm not sure if that
Yeah.
bit's worth going back to.
You know, this is like, man, I really want to yes and this, but I got nothing.
Like, how?
I have absolutely nothing to guess on this. It will just go whoop.
Yes and what?
I just thought it was funny for me to be like, well, earlier I was just like, my octopus can flash, it's not a problem, and I was like, my giraffe can flash, that's
Yeah,
not
but that makes sense because the octopus has color-changing powers like a chameleon.
Yeah, that's why it's funny to just say to me, oh yeah, the giraffe can do it as well.
Yeah, no, you finished it. You killed your own answer. Let's go.
Okay, sure.
All right, with my inability to yes and this, I just have to move on. And the final animal, the best animal, this is a bit of a callback, as you may be aware, long-time listeners. I would think that the perfect animal for fighting crime is actually not a fighting kangaroo, but a toad with a sniper rifle.
But no,
fuck.
Toad isn't
Not a Mario toad, a literal toad
Oh.
Okay.
with a sniper rifle.
I assume you're not going to elaborate, and that's going to end the episode right there.
I see no reason to elaborate. I'll give you some elaborations. Okay, so a type of crime that we haven't really considered is high-level, very serious crimes, such as a hostage situation or a bank heist. And a toad with a sniper rifle is a perfect person to take out someone who is threatening hostages, for example.
How would it hold it?
How would it hold it? With its legs.
Yeah, that tracks.
I thought you were just going to say the normal way.
I think that's fine, but I like the idea that it better be a really good shot, because every time it fires, the toad's flying off in the other direction.
You can like mount it, right? They can have like tripods and stuff, so that reduces the recoil significantly.
Yeah, but that would be less funny. You just have a crack shot that's just one shot.
We can have a toad team with a team of sniper rifle toads.
That's why the shot comes at a different time. The place.
Hang on, a toad team with a team of sniper rifle. Okay, yeah. All the T's.
Yep, keep going.
Well, they just like line up like the magazine, so instead of it firing out bullet casings, it's firing out the toads using it.
One sniper rifle, an army of toads. Isn't army the plural for frogs anyway?
Who else is in this like serious crimes division? Is there like a rhino breaking down the front door with a SWAT team?
Oh, that's good. A SWAT
A
rhino.
kangaroo drowning everyone it sees.
Like, what else we got? Sniper rifle toad.
A hippo, just a tank damage.
Yeah.
I guess the rhino kind of does that too.
A hippo could do some serious crime.
This is where you bring the octopus to deal with the bomb, but they need to get in first, and then they bring the octopus with them to solve
Yes.
the bomb, right?
Oh, this is when we also bring in the guerrilla warfare joke.
Oh, yeah.
I like how you brought that joke in to just say, this is where we would make this joke if we could be bothered to make it.
Good joke.
Like, I don't want to explore the context of guerrilla warfare, but I do want to say gorilla warfare. There it is. There you go.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
I think you need you get some fireflies in there just to to be
Distraction?
flashbangs.
Yeah, flashbang. Good idea. Yeah.
Just chuck them in.
Fireflies are the Flash, and then you've got like a humpback whale that just does its massive click noise to the bang.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
This is
that's
the biggest flashbang ever.
Just driving up next to the building, it goes... boom.
If it lands the wrong way, the firefly light is blocked by the humpback whale and no one gets blinded. But they're all flattened because it's huge.
You do the whale first, because light is faster than sound. So you send the whale in, and once it's not going to kill the fireflies, you then send them in.
You've just flattened the entire room.
I'm still puzzling out because light is faster than sound.
That means the fireflies can catch up.
Hang on.
That's how this works.
The whale makes a noise, they hear, okay, it's go time, the fireflies follow the shockwave so they're not hit by it.
Okay.
Like, there's this awful SWAT situation going on. They're all holed up in a building, and they're like, what's that noise? And it's a crane going like, with a humpback whale on it, like creaking into position, and they're like, we should move. It just flattens the whole building.
I mean, once you hear the whale crane, that sound is gonna, like, stun you. You're not getting away.
That's negotiation in itself.
Okay, they just put the whale above the building and like, yeah, okay, you can have the hostages. Can we leave now?
Well, hang on, they still have the hostages. You would crush the hostages as well. You've not thought this
You're
through.
not dropping the whale, you're just making it go through its big
That
clip.
was the implied threat just then.
Well, okay, I mean, if the hostage takers don't know better, then maybe that's a bargaining chip.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, and the hostage negotiator can be a phoenix, because if they go in and they don't like it and they get shot, they can just come back to life.
No, if you're bringing Phoenix in, then you won't. Then the Phoenix is your defense attorney.
Oh, Phoenix Wright, got you.
Oh,
a video game reference.
Oh, that took me way too long.
Yeah,
That took me way too long.
I know the least about those games. How did I get that first?
I mean, all you need to know is that the game's called Phoenix Wright, and he's an attorney.
Yeah, true. That is literally all I knew as well.
Yeah.
The title of the game.
I mean, you could just have a really cute animal as a negotiator, right? Make them let their guard down. They'll agree to more things.
Oh, like a dog?
Yeah, like a cute puppy or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
exactly.
Yeah, but a dog that's also very annoying because people just do what the dog wants if it's just barking at you for attention.
Just yips at you, and you're like, okay, we'll give up.
If the criminals aren't good at dog training, they won't just ignore the dog.
They're not good at dog training. Okay, fair enough. Well, then we just send in a bunch of kittens, because they're much harder to train. Send in the negotiation kittens.
Yeah, but like you might get the group of criminal that just loves killing kittens.
Or you might get one that loves killing puppies. Same shit.
That is the go-to thing about showing that someone's evil is kicking a puppy.
Yeah, not killing it, because dogs can do crime.
Dogs can do crime is a better line of like why the hostage takers would trust a puppy or negotiate with a puppy than a kitten.
Yeah, dogs are better at crime. Okay. You send in a quacker. You send in something really cute like a quacker. It's got a big smile.
Oh, big smiley face. Yeah, that's true. That's quite
It establishes trust by throwing its baby at you.
Here, have another one.
Throwing its baby at you.
That's what quackers do.
What? Quackers throw their babies at humans or other creatures?
I think it's a defense.
As defense. That doesn't make any sense for natural selection.
Yeah.
Like,
They drop their baby and run away.
the point is to pass on my genes.
No, because it's easier to make a new baby than it is to raise an adult.
Is it?
What a bizarre evolutionary trait.
I'm not saying I don't agree with you, but I don't agree with evolution.
What the fuck, Darwin?
Humans used to have lots more kids because more would survive to adulthood if you have more of them. So, like,
I guess.
Yeah, but like...
they're expendable. I don't know. The answer's human still.
No, it's not. We've got rid of the humans.
Why don't we send in something funny, right? Like a parrot. Because parrots, they work with pirates, so you're not scared of them doing crime. What animal? We're talking about sniper rifle toads.
Yeah.
We
I
are.
mean, parrots are quite good as negotiators because they can speak English, or octopus, as we previously established.
Yeah. They go in, they establish a rapport, they're like, fuck you, buddy! And they're like, this parrot swears, what a legend.
And they can repeat what the terrorist says back to the people back in base when they come out perfectly.
Yeah, but we have all these other animals that can just normally talk without just repeating things, so...
Like sphinxes and dragons.
An octopus.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Or, no, I'm not bringing in Mr. Toad. We're not doing that.
He'd be the best with the sniper rifle.
Look, he's got his nickname is the Agent. He's often sniping out in woodland situations. He is the wind in the willows.
Poot, motherfucker.
I think I'm going to have to close it for submissions there. We've had several answers. In fact, maybe too many. Maybe so many of the answers are about 5 answers in one. But on that, I think I'm going to give it to the combination of rats, moles, flies, badgers, whatever other things that are disguised animals.
Whatever shows up that is small is the answer.
Small animals.
Small animals with a pun based on their name.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That does track.
Yeah, what have I won?
Congratulations, Jamie. You have won a framed picture of Roger Rabbit.
Oh.
Thanks for listening, Anonymous Data Point. I know everyone tells you this, but as a tiny independent outlet, we really do need your support. So if you've enjoyed this stupid episode, please subscribe on whichever platform you're listening on. If you're feeling extra generous, you could rate and review us on Apple and Spotify. 5 stars, please. Or more importantly, you could recommend this show to a friend. Regardless of whether you do any of that, we really appreciate your listenership, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Well, you'll see us anyway. I mean, not see exactly. Nah, you get the idea.
And also a drink from a poisoned dart frog, courtesy of me.
You do not have to accept that prize.
I'll keep that one for the prize auction, the Dark Frog drink. Yeah.
Only that one. You want to keep them all for the prize auction.
Oh no, I'm keeping my episode 50 prize forever. That's never going in the auction.
We'll see. We can make a second one. We can make a decoy.
I don't know how we're going to auction off legal adoption, but we'll get there.
Legal adoption.
Just
I
the
gave
certificate.
I gave that piece of paper to Bear.
Just
Yeah, it's an adoption certificate, right?
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
legit. I handed it to
It's me
Bear.
being adopted.
Yeah, it's Bear being adopted, so we can hand off that certificate.
Oh, okay.
It's super legit.
I've got it on my shelf.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried
I mean,
about it.
what I can do is basically, if I decide to pass that to someone else, then Eddie's adopted them.
Yeah.
I
I
see.
think,
That's
but the
how that
paper
works.
says I've adopted you.
But the certificate wasn't the prize, right? The prize was the adoption.
This is the question, but I don't care about the answer, so I'm going to say let's finish the episode.
Yeah.
He's just checking.
It's adoption letter from Eddie.
Oh, so it didn't even have to be of me.
That would have been a good
No, I don't. I would have to check how I said it in the episode. I probably said I'm going to adopt you or something.
Look, Eddie, I'm just going to adopt someone on your behalf at some point if we ever do this prize auction. That's all.
Fair enough.